Hello friends, and welcome to your reading lesson for Thursday, April 30th. Today we are going to go through the independent reading assignment for today, which is on page number 130 and 131 in your reader's notebook. And in this assignment, we're going to be also using our hardcover reading book, so also make sure you have that book with you before we start. So let's read your directions for page 130. So this is going to be a tree diagram. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to read pages 136 and 137 in the story, A Tree is a Plant. Then we're going to draw a tree with leaves and roots. Use green arrows to show how food moves, and use blue arrows to show how water moves. So first, let's go and read those two pages together before we start our drawing. Okay, let's read these pages together. This is page 136 we're going to start on. Roots do something more. They take water from the ground. They carry the water into the trunk of the tree. The trunk carries the water to the branches. The branches carry the water to the leaves. Hundreds and hundreds of leaves grow on the branches. The leaves make food from water and air. They make food when the sun shines. The food goes into the branches. It goes into the trunk and roots. It goes to every part of the tree. So let's look at this picture for a moment while I have the picture up in front of me before we go back to our reader's notebook. So on the page, we have arrows that are coming up through the ground, through the roots. So this is how the tree takes in nutrients from the ground. It takes in the water. And then as you can see, the arrows go up through the branches and up to the leaves. The sun provides energy for the tree. So we have the arrows coming down from the sun, going into the leaves and going down to the tree. And in this picture here, we have the arrows a little bit more up close, how they are going right into the leaves and then through the leaves to the branches. So these arrows are going to be very important for when we do these next two pages. So make sure you leave your hardcover reading book open when we go back to our reader's notebook page. Okay, so the very first thing that you need to do on this page is to draw yourself a picture of a tree. I went ahead and did that ahead of time of showing you this page again because it took me a little bit longer to draw this picture. So if you want to press pause to give yourself time to draw your picture of your tree, you may. Please make sure that your tree includes roots. So you'll have to start your tree about a third of the way up the page. So as you can see here, I drew my ground first. That was the first thing that I did. And then I went ahead and I drew my tree. And then I added in my roots. And then I added my leaves up here. So if you want to press pause to go ahead and add your tree, and then press play again, then we will continue on with the next part of our assignment. So the next thing that we have to do is we need to use green arrows to show how food moves. So before I draw my arrows, I'm actually going to add one more thing into my picture. And I am going to add a sun in the corner. So remember in our story, it says that the sun helps to provide the tree with food. And the way that this happens is the sunlight comes in through the leaves of the tree, and then the leaves make food for the tree, and then it flows down to the tree. So our green arrows are going to go down. So you can go ahead and add in your arrows to go down your tree. Just minor. So there are my green arrows for food. So the food moves from the leaves down through the tree. Now we're going to use blue arrows to show how water moves. So we know that when a tree takes in water, it takes in water through the roots. So blue arrows are going to go in the opposite direction. So we're going to start down here with our roots. And my blue arrow is actually going to start down here because the water comes from the soil Do one on either side here. And the roots are the part of the plant that takes in that water. So that's why when you have plants that are growing in your gardens or inside your homes in pots, like our seeds are, that's why we have to water the soil. We don't water the plant. We actually are putting water into the soil. So that way our plants can absorb the water up through their roots. And our arrows, mine are kind of going right next to it, but as long as you're using different colors, you'll be able to tell. So the water goes up through the roots, up through the trunk of the tree, all the way up to the leaves of the tree. And that helps keep the entire tree healthy. If you've ever seen a tree where it looks dead, there aren't any leaves on it when there should be leaves on it, especially in the summertime, that's how you can tell that that tree is not living anymore because it doesn't have any leaves. And that means that the tree has stopped taking in the water from the soil. It has stopped absorbing sunlight from the sun because there aren't any leaves anymore and the tree has died. But with this diagram, we can see that this is how a tree takes in water from the ground and helps to produce food for itself through its leaves through these different colored arrows. Here are your directions for the next portion of this assignment. You need to read pages 128 through 147. Draw the apple tree in each season. Start with spring and write the name of each season. So I'm going to do that portion with you now. We're going to go ahead and label each of these boxes with the seasons that we need. So it tells us to start with spring. So we are going to put spring into the top left-hand box on the line. So here's how I spell spring. S, P, R, I, N, G. So there's spring. So the season that after spring is summer. So we're going to put summer in the next box. So we have S, U, M, N, E, R for summer. Make sure to try and write as neatly as you can. Then the next season that comes after summer is fall. So we're going to write fall. This box, F-A-L. Let my pen catch up here. There we go. L. So there's fall, and then our last season is winter. So winter in our last box. So we have W, I, N, T, E, R. Winter. So there are all of your boxes labeled with the seasons that they need to go along with. So when you go ahead and read these pages, make sure you pay attention to what each tree looks like. So you're going to press pause to read the pages and then come back and we will talk about the pictures that you're going to draw. Okay, let's talk about our pictures that we are going to have you draw. So I'm not going to draw these pictures with you because it's a little bit hard for me to draw them on my computer, but we can talk about them together. So in the springtime, when you read these pages, you saw that the apple tree has blossoms on it, has little flowers on it, and they were pink. Sometimes they're white. So your spring picture should look like a tree looks like in the springtime with the apple blossoms on them. Summer. Your apple tree is beginning to grow their apples, so they're very, very small, and it has all of its leaves. So when you draw your summer picture, make sure the apples are very small and that it has lots of green leaves on it. In the fall is when we go apple picking and the leaves are starting to turn colors. So you can go ahead and draw your leaves with different colors and the apples coming off the tree. And then in the winter time, since an apple tree is a deciduous tree, meaning that it loses its leaves, your winter picture should have your tree bare. The only thing that you should be able to see are the branches. There should not be any leaves on your tree. You can even put some on the ground if you want. So that is what your tree should look like with your pictures of the cycle of seasons for our apple tree. So the next part of our assignment is another practice page for our grammar skill for the week on indefinite pronouns. So we are looking at page 133 in your reader's notebook. And remember, an indefinite pronoun stands for people or things that are not named in a sentence. And we went through our list yesterday. So let's look at our word bank. These are the same 6 pronouns that we talked about yesterday. So we have anyone, someone, everyone, something, everybody, and everything. So here are our directions for this page. We're going to write an indefinite pronoun from the word bank to complete each sentence. So let's go through and talk through each of these sentences while we write our pronouns down. So number 1, our sentence is, we met in the park. So if we look at our list here, we have a couple of different options that we could use. We could use someone if we're talking about one person. We can talk about everyone. We could say we met everyone in the park. So we are going to use everyone because we're talking about many people. We use the word we use the pronoun we in the first part of our sentence. So we're going to write everyone here. So you can go ahead and copy this with me. Make sure that you're spelling it correctly. And that you circled it so we know we use it. So here is everyone. Okay, number 2. Did you bring to eat? So let's look at our choices. So we have anyone, someone, something, everybody, or everything. So in our sentence, we have the word you, so we are talking about one person. So we need our indefinite pronoun to also be talking about one thing. We're going to use something. Did you bring something to eat? We have SOMETHING, something to eat. And this should actually be a question mark because it is asking a question. Did you bring something to eat? So I'm going to fix that mistake right there. Okay, number 3. Can pick apples with me? So let's look at our choices. We have anyone, someone, everybody, and everything. So we're going to use anyone. We're talking about one person. Can anyone pick apples with me? So this pronoun fits here because we're actually going to use someone in one of our other sentences. All right, number 4. I put in the box. So we're talking about a thing in this sentence. So we're going to use the only word that we have left that talks about an object. We're going to say everything. Everything in the box. We wouldn't want to put a person in the box. We wouldn't want to put anyone or someone in the box. So we have everything. Make sure you write small so you can fit all of your letters in these tiny little blanks. I'm doing the best I can on my computer. Okay, there we go. I put everything in the box. And our last one. We didn't circle anyone. There we go. So number 5 says, likes red apples. The word that we're going to use is someone. We can say someone likes red apples. And since it is the first word of our sentence, what do we need? We need capital. So we need capital S here. So we need someone. Remember, these indefinite pronouns are just taking the place of naming a person in the sentence or a thing in the sentence and can take the place of naming many things or people in the sentence, depending on if it's singular talking about one or if it is plural talking about many. So please make sure that you have completed this page and that you have completed your independent reading assignment. And I hope you enjoy drawing those pictures of our apple trees. And I will see you tomorrow for another reading lesson. Bye, friends. Have a good day.